cheers to all of you. Just want to follow up with Brandon's comment there. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another live stream. Today is going to be pretty cool. I'm going to be opening something new, as well as a couple others that I've had before, but it's been a while. And some things that are kind of hard to come by, but I wanted to share them with you. I know you guys were chatting earlier about what you've had. Donnie and Diane have had the Toasted Barrel Bourbon, which I have tried a tasting of it. I've only tried it once. I have the Sour Mash, which I've reviewed previously on this channel. And I just bought one of my pickups from Kentucky was the Toasted Barrel Finish Rye Whiskey. Haven't opened this one yet. I'm really excited. I'm saving that one for last. I also have the Barrel Strength Rye, just the regular one, just to kind of compare. This has been one of my favorite ryes for a really long time. So yeah, that's kind of the plan for tonight. So getting to try some limited release Michters. I know I did a stream talking about some of these before, but it's just the first time I've tried 2 of the 3. So I wanted to share it with you guys and go through my tasting. So starting with some Russells, just finished off a bottle of it. So what are you guys sipping on tonight? I didn't have any other regular Michters. I was hoping I had like the American whiskey or the bourbon. The only thing I have is the Barrel Strength Rye and these toasted barrels. So went with some Russells, keeping it simple. Like I said, finishing off a bottle. So curious what you guys are drinking tonight. And thank you for joining me. I don't know if I said that already, but cheers to joining me. McKenna 10-year, not a bad place to start. That's definitely, I'm trying to think of all the 10-year age stated things out there. I mean, Eagle Rare is sort of 10 years stated, I think, still. I feel like McKenna and Eagle Rare, regular Russells just doesn't really do it for me that much. I know I'm like blasphemous by saying that, but I mean, for the price it's great, but the single barrels is where it's at with the Russells. So I bought this when I was going to compare them directly, but it's nice. It's a nice start your night bourbon, but not as interesting as some of the other releases from them, but especially not as interesting as some of the other 10 years out there. So McKenna is one of my favorite. Even Michter's, I had a sample of their 10-year bourbon. I had their 10-year rye. I haven't opened yet. But 10-year is a good sweet spot for bourbon. Yeah, so I'm going to leave this over here. This will be kind of like my dump glass if we get to that point. So I was debating where to start. I know I want to start with either the Sour Mash or the bourbon. I think I'll probably start with the bourbon just because that is one I haven't reviewed on the channel, and 2, that was their first Toasted Barrel release. This one is really hard to come by. I actually accidentally stole this from my friend. We did a whiskey meetup last month, and I brought the Toasted Barrel Sour Mash, and somehow I went home with this as well. So I asked permission. He said I can have a pour of it to review it tonight. So gonna do that for you guys. But yeah, so basically quick overview of the toasted process at Michter's. Oh, you got the Barrel Strength Rye. Oh, let me know what you think of it. It's honestly one of my favorite ryes. I wish I could find it. I bought 1 bottle of it when it first came around. It's a little pricey, but like I would buy another if I saw it on the shelf. So yeah, so with Michter's, so what they do with their Toasted Barrel Finish program is they take their regular bourbon, their regular sour mash, and their regular rye, and then put it in a new barrel that's only been toasted, not charred. Now, I think what that means is instead of, when they char barrels, they like shoot flames through it at high temperatures and gets that nice black char on the barrel. Well, toasting the barrel is like a light roast. It's like they put a little fire like near the wood, and it just lightly, releases those, like, I guess not sap, but releases those oils or whatever. It's a very light, it's like roasting a marshmallow. You don't like put it in the fire, you like put it over the fire. So that's what I understand their toasting process is. The length of time that it ages in that barrel varies. I know with the bourbon it was like 26 days, and with it being a new barrel, that imparts a lot of flavor. So I'm excited to see how these all compare and see if they kind of have some similarities and see if they beat out their counterparts. I wish I had their counterparts here, but I have had the Michter's bourbon and the regular Michter's rye. So let's see. This cork is looking showing a little age here. This is the 2018 release of the Toasted Barrel Bourbon. I'll show you the bottle right there. Yeah, so it's batch 18H1193. So let's go ahead and pour this. Like I said, I've only tried this once, so I'm curious to revisit it I want to have a little bit more in that so I can taste it. So thanks to Jonathan for letting me use his bottle that I stole. Yeah, so their bourbon, honestly, the first Michter's product I ever bought was the American whiskey. I'm curious about what is your experience with Michter's? Have you had any of their products, or did you? I know I started with the American whiskey because I've heard it recommended by tons and tons of whiskey folks when I was first getting into it. I think it's their most interesting. I do love. Well, okay, I think their regular rye is the most interesting, but over the bourbon and the American whiskey, I prefer the American whiskey. Haven't had the regular sour mash though, just the toasted barrel. So I'm interested to see. I would like to pick up a regular sour mash just to try it. Only the 10-year. Well, that's a good place to start. Oh, I mean, it probably would you'd be let down by a lot of the other stuff, but. So I'm not getting much of a nose on this one, and I feel like it may be because this bottle's been open for a while. I know that he kind of pulled it out of his storage whenever I brought the Toasted Barrel Sour Mash. So the nose isn't really jumping out of the glass. Now, this is a pretty low proof. The proof on this is 91.4, and the proof on the Sour Mash is actually lower. It's 86. Probably should have started with that one, but the rye is barrel strength. So, I had to save that for last. That one is 108.2 proof. So, oh, you try to fly at the distillery. Awesome. I actually visited, I was going to mention that. I went to the Michter's Fort Nelson distillery when I was in Kentucky last week or the week before. I lose track of time. Well, it was like a mix of last week and the week before. But so I did their basic tour. So we got to try their regular rye, their regular bourbon, and the regular American whiskey. We tried like a variation of it that was they were trying to tell us why they barrel at a lower entry proof than most distilleries. Most distilleries are at like that 125 point when they put it into a barrel. Michter's goes in, I think, at like 103 or so. It's like a really low point. And they showed us side by side, like, this is why we do it, because the flavors are more elaborate when you do it at a lower entry point. And I don't know if like that's overall true, but with that example they showed us, there's definitely a lot more going on in the glass for the lower entry proof than the higher entry proof. So fun fact about Michter's, that's like one of the things they do different than everyone else. So this is the Toasted Barrel Bourbon. Let's go ahead and, on the nose, I mean, there's a little bit of something there. Like, I think the Sour Mash has a great nose, and I feel like that's lacking a little bit on this one. So let me see if I can taste it and maybe start bringing out some of those flavors. So it's very campfire-y. I say that because that was my favorite thing about the Toasted Sour Mash. It brings back memories of sitting by the campfire, growing up. I said, if you want to see my full review of the Toasted Sour Mash, a couple of live streams ago, I did like a limited release Michter's stream. So check that one out. This one doesn't really have that marshmallow aspect the Sour Mash has. I'm getting a lot of that campfire smoke, like almost like an ashy, not like peaty, like Scotch or anything. It's like just like a light trace of smoke in the air. It's not really sweet either. Their regular bourbon is pretty sweet. I think that kind of hides a little bit of the sweetness behind the char note. I don't know how to describe it other than like char and toasty. It's just like, it's not like overwhelming smoky. I don't think I'm saying it's smoky. It's just like, it's like, how people describe LaCroix as being like, it rested next to some lemons on the other side of the grocery store. It's like that, but like a little bit more. So there's some smokiness there, but it's not overpowering. It's really nice, honestly. It's almost like a I almost get like a bakery note, like a dough. Yeah, it's like an oven. Like an oven is cooking some bread across the grocery store. I like it a lot. I think based on my past experience, I think I like the Sour Mash a little more. I'm going to revisit it next, but I did want to give this another shot. I think this is an exceptional buy for MSRP. It's $50. Now, be able to find it for $50, that's another story. I don't even think they made one this year. I think 2018 may have been the last one. It goes for a lot more on secondary. I've seen it like $200 to $300. No, I'd say skip it. It's really interesting though. If you get a chance to try it, I highly recommend it. If this is at a bar, and you've never had any of their toasted releases, definitely try it. I know you guys said you haven't had any of the toasted ones, so it's really unique. It's definitely not like their regular releases. That toasting does do something special to the whiskey, so I'm a fan of it, and I think it's cool that they're doing it across their whole range of products, from their bourbon to their sour mash to their rye. Yes, Brendan, this is the one. I'll sneak a little taste of this one. Well, were you at the meetup, Brandon, that we had this? You may have been. It was the last meetup. Oh well, I'll let you try it there anyways, because this was there along with the sour mash. But yeah, you can try. I'm sure Jonathan won't mind. Yes. By the way, I'm excited to see you. Whatever we do, I know we're still trying to figure out our plans, but possibly. That's how I feel when I leave those meetups too. Like, I might have tried that. I don't know, but I had a good time. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm getting a little bit more on the nose now that I revisit it, but it's still not like jumping out of the glass. Again, it's a lower proof. I mean, it's only, what I say, 91.5 or something. 91.4. So it's pretty low proof, but it's pretty good. I'm not going to complain about that. So let's move on. Moving a little backwards in proof, let's go on to the Toasted Barrel Sour Mash. Now, I've been trying to conserve this bottle because I love it. Now, it's going to be interesting coming from something higher proof to that, because I usually start with that one because it's so low proof. I'm just going to drink a little bit of water to cleanse my palate a bit. Yeah, I wish you guys had, like, I was hoping that someone here would have tried at least one of these so I can compare it back to that one and be like, it's like this one, but these different notes. So maybe rewatch this video, or if anyone is watching the replay that you try one of these, I'm going to try to include that info just to kind of help you out to see if the other ones are worth seeking out. Honestly, I think the sour mash is better than the bourbon personally. Brandon, that would be awesome, because I was going to ask you that if you pass by High Times on the way to come up here, I was going to ask you to grab me another one of those picks. I haven't opened mine yet, so please open it and try it with a 14-year-old. And if it's just as good, I may ask you to pick me up another one of those if you pass by it. If you're not passing by it, then don't worry. But that was just a heck of a good deal. It was like $37 at High Times for a store pick, Knob Creek. You guys know I'm a sucker for Knob Creek, so I would love to hear what that is. So let me know. Yeah, try it right now. And I know it's not Michter's, but try it. Cool. So let's move on to the Sour Mash. This is the 2019 release. This just came out this year. I actually picked this up on the shelf for $65. It was the last one. I was at some random liquor store I'd never been to before. Saw it sitting there. I'm like, nope, I'm grabbing that. I don't care what I'm doing. I came there to find something else. I came there to find Weller. But this was on the shelf, and I'm like, I'm getting that one. So let's go ahead and pour a little bit here. Like I said, this is 86 proof, so 43% alcohol. So you told me to go there. I know. You told me to go there to get some Weller, and I found this instead. No Weller, unfortunately, but yeah, I found this, so thank you. Oh yeah, on the nose, this is so much more, which is crazy because this is so much lower proof. It's literally, what, like 12 proof points lower? No, more. 86 proof versus 91 proof. Hey, Steven, what's up? I'm on the Toasted Barrel Sour Mash now. I just did the bourbon. The bourbon was good. Wasn't my favorite. Even though it's higher proof than the sour mash, I've only nosed the sour mash now. But this is so much more on the nose. So much more interesting. So, yeah, so far I'm digging the sour mash. I know I've reviewed it previously, but I want to try it alongside. Hey, Lilith is here. She was able to make it on her lunch break in Australia. So, thank you for showing up. Good to see you. I know you said you couldn't drink with us tonight. Diana and you are not drinking tonight. Oh, well, I'm sure you probably have your reasons. But, yeah, I love when people can drink with me. It makes me feel better. The Knob Creek pick from High Times is missing the tab to open. Oh, is it? Oh, mine has it. Maybe it's just the one you picked up. Knob Creek wax. I hate Knob Creek wax. You guys hear me complain about it all the time. It's so terrible and it makes a mess everywhere. I don't know. Get a knife. You probably have a knife somewhere. I don't know. Tomorrow night that will be different. Sounds like a plan. I was intending to do a dry week this week, but I picked up a couple bottles and I kind of blew it, and then I went out to eat. I kind of blew it there too. So I'm like, we'll do a dry week in a couple weeks. We'll see. But I'm always bad about because there's so many bottles that I want to try, especially because I just got back from Kentucky. So might take a minute or two. All right. Well, I'll be here to hear, unless it takes you like 45 minutes to open it, because then I won't be here. But yeah. So on the nose, the Toasted Barrel Sour Mash beats the bourbon hands down. Let's go ahead and taste it. I can't put off tasting this any longer. That campfire note is there, but there is some, like I said, that toasted marshmallow, that sweetness shines through on the sour mash. I'm not even one for like super sweet bourbons. I am when they're like high proof. Like I'm not one for super sweet low proof bourbons, if that makes sense, because usually with low proof bourbons, if it's really sweet, it kind of overwhelms the flavor. It takes on that sweetness, overwhelms everything else. So, which of the toasted Michters have you had? Because I was asking earlier, Brandon and Donnie and Diana haven't had any of the toasted barrels yet. So, you have the 2015 the bourbon. Have you tried any of the other ones? I'm just trying to find someone that's like tried some of them so I can talk through what I like more about certain ones. So yeah, so this sour mash from 2019, it's delicious on the nose and delicious on the palate. It's probably, other than the barrel strength rye, I haven't tried the Toasted Barrel Rye yet. I'm about to try that. Other than the barrel strength rye, this is probably my favorite Michter's product, and I really wish it was easier to get. You have to find a picture. If it was 2015, it was probably the bourbon. I don't think the rye even came out till 2017, so it's most likely the bourbon. I don't dislike it, but like I said, this bottle may have been open for a while. This was a friend that I actually accidentally ended up with. It came home with my stuff after our meetup, so he let me go into it one more time tonight to try it. But I wasn't getting too much on the nose of that, and the palate was just kind of like, okay, there was like a little bit of that smokiness from it. But the sour mash brings so much more. There's a lot more sweetness and caramel goodness desserts. It's like I said, I don't think there's a better way to describe this than a toasted marshmallow over a campfire. Not like, so you know when you're sitting at a campfire and like the smoke comes in your face and like you have to like move over a little bit and then it comes in your face again and you move over a little bit and it comes in your face again? Not like that. It's like you're on the other side. So you still smell the smoke, but it's not like filling your nostrils with the smoke. So it's really, really nice. Honestly, I think they outdone themselves with this Toasted Barrel Sour Mash. And I'm curious to try just the regular sour mash because that's the one thing I haven't tried from them that I feel like may be really good too. I just haven't had it. So that's a fantastic product. Brandon, I'm sure you probably tried this at the meetup, but when you're here, we're going to try this again because I think you'll really like it too. I had to sneeze. I'm trying to like not sneeze on camera. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay. It's that smoke, you guys. The smoke is like getting in my nostrils. Just kidding. But yeah, no, really, really good. And I think it was a surprising choice to go with their sour mash as a toasted barrel because I feel like they just won. The regular Michter's Sour Mash just won an award. I don't remember exactly what that award was. It may say on the bottle, actually. No, it doesn't. But I know this came out shortly after they won an award for the Sour Mash being one of the best whiskeys in the world. According to somebody. Anyone could say best whiskeys in the world. But someone important said their regular Sour Mash was one of the best whiskeys in the world. And then, like, sure enough, a month later, this guy showed up. So I think they had something up their sleeve with this one, but I cannot complain about this bottle. If you see this on the shelf at retail, honestly, I would pay up to, so retail, I paid $65. I think retail is $60, so I paid like $5 over. I would probably pay up to what I pay for the barrel strength rye, not the toasted rye, but the barrel strength rye. I paid, I think it was $80 for this. Steven, correct me if I'm wrong. This is either $80 or $70. No, it's not $70. It's $80. Yeah, it's $80. Oh, you got it, Brennan. Nice. This popped up for $80. I would pay $80 for the Toasted Barrel Sour Mash. I just really wish it was higher proof. That proof kind of, it doesn't kill it, but that's going to make me like cringe a little bit if I paid $80 for it. But people are paying $130 secondary for this guy right now. Don't recommend that. It's good. It's great. It's a great whiskey, but unless you really, really want to try it, I wouldn't recommend paying secondary for it. Although, to be fair, 120 in the secondary market isn't that high. So you do you, but I probably wouldn't buy another one unless I found it for 80 or less. So there's that. But it is a fantastic pour. I'm holding onto this bottle for dear life because I love it so much. Oh, sorry. I'm still like trying not to sneeze. It's a very good bottle, so rinse that one out. I think what I'm going to do before I try the Toasted Barrel Rye is try a little bit more of the barrel strength rye, because they're both barrel strength. They're both, so this one right here is 111 proof. The other one is 108 proof. But what the Toasted Barrel Rye is their barrel strength rye, but toasted. Like I said earlier, if you're new to the chat, toasting basically means they don't like engulf it with flames. They kind of just have a fire going. They showed us at the Michter's distillery, by the way. If you're curious, they basically put a little fire ring in the middle, and what they burn in that fire ring is actually wood from the same barrels that they use to make Michter's. So they like take their bottles and their barrels, and they reuse that wood to burn to do their toasting process. I think that's really cool. It's very sustainable because they're not using, unnecessary resources. They're using their own. So, but yeah, they put the barrel around this little fire ring, and it just like goes up a little bit, and it warms and toasts the inside of the barrel. So it doesn't char it, but it definitely adds some character to it. And these bottles are clear examples that character is a campfirey goodness. So let me pour the barrel strength rye. Let me have a little water break. Brandon, how are those knob bottles pours going? We should do like a tandem live stream sometime, and like we can just, because we have a lot of the same bottles, we could totally review things. I feel like I wanted to do that at some point, by the way. I don't know who here would be interested in it, but I would love to have guests on the stream, mainly like kind of like our Google Hangouts, not quite that crazy, but I would love to have people review things with me if we have the same bottles. I think that would be so fun. So this is just the barrel strength rye. This isn't the toasted. I'm going to move to that after this one. Oh, Brandon says they're super similar. That's great to hear. I love to hear they're similar because I love my 14-year-old Knob Creeks. So hearing that the 9-year-old is similar, and Swan said something similar. He said, he said that he was worried that the 9-year-old Knob Creek picks wouldn't be as good, but everyone he's tried has been fantastic. So that's great to hear. Brandon, if you're passing through there, I may ask you to give me a bottle of it. We'll see. We'll talk closer to the date that you're coming up here, but you may have to call me while you're at High Times if you're there. So you're not that great at reviewing. That's cool. I honestly, do you think I'm great at reviewing? There's a reason that like you guys are the only ones that show up to these streams. Like let's be honest. I just do it for fun. I don't have enough whiskey friends in my like friend circle, so having one time a week to drink whiskey with people that understand whiskey, then it makes more sense. So I'm not that great at reviewing, but I just have a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. So that's why I do it. And plus, like, I gotta get through these bottles somehow. What better way to drink than to review them? That way I don't feel guilty about drinking on a Thursday night. I'm like, I'm reviewing, I'm not drinking. So anyways, barrel strength rye, not the toasted barrel yet. Oh yeah, Steven, you may have disappeared for a while, but this is the bottle you encouraged me to buy, and I'm so glad you did. This is an incredible rye. On the nose, it's peppery. It's not super rye on the nose. I would just guess this is like a really high rye bourbon, which, I mean, let's be honest, it probably is like a 51% rye or something like that, but that's so good on the nose. It smells like what I want whiskey to taste like. That quintessential leather, that almost tobacco leaf note. It just smells delicious on the nose. So if you guys haven't had the barrel strength rye from Michter's, definitely pick it up. I paid $80 for this. I would pay that again, and again. It's one of the few bottles that I think is worth that price. So enough gushing. Let's drink some whiskey. Cheers. Gotta cheers, you guys. Wow. I mean, I say that every time I drink this, you guys. Like, you guys see me. This barrel strength rye, Brandon, you're not a rye drinker. I know. I tried to force this down your throat last time you were here. I'm like, no, but the barrel strength rye. You gotta try it. I get it if you're not a rye guy, but if you're somewhat rye curious, go for the Michter's barrel strength rye. It'll blow your mind. Thank you, Lil. um, I've been trying to find more rye drinkers. It is a little sweet. I will say that, and it doesn't have so much spiciness. So I wouldn't say it's. I wouldn't recommend this for someone that's curious about. No, okay. Wait. I would recommend it for someone that's curious about rye. Someone that's a rye lover, like a Whistle Pig or a Bullet Rye drinker. Maybe not so, but for someone that just loves both rye and bourbon, this is a good mix of both. I mean, I think Pikesville's the same way. Technically, it's a rye, but it's like 51 to 53% rye. So it's pretty close to a bourbon. So I just really do like this one. And that's why I'm excited to try the Toasted Barrel Rye, because I think it's going to amplify. I don't know what it's going to do to these flavors. That's what I'm excited for. Like, these flavors are so great and vibrant on their own that I'm hoping that the Toasted Barrel doesn't overshadow those flavors. But there's a chance that this Toasted Barrel Rye may beat this one and be probably one of my favorite rye products out there. So I'm going to linger on this one a little bit. I'm actually going to save this glass. Yeah, I'll save this right here. I have another backup glass here. I just want to make sure it's clean. This is a glass I used. I did a review of the Little Book 3 yesterday, so keep an eye out for that. I'm probably going to post it tomorrow. We'll see. It may be later, but I reviewed the Little Book 3, so I just want to make sure this glass didn't still smell like Little Book. Oh, I totally agree. Have you had the Old Forester Rye? So I'm not a huge Old Forester fan. Just so you guys know, I'm like opening this like it's never been opened. Just so you know, it's legit. It's not fake. I'm not a huge Old Forester fan, but the Old Forester Rye is a fantastic cocktail rye. It's good on its own, but like in cocktails, Old Forester Rye is one of my favorite ryes I've ever used in a cocktail. Old Fashioned, Manhattan. I just really, really do like the Old Forester Rye. And I'm so surprised this bottle, of all the bottles I brought back from Kentucky, this is the one I want to survive the most. I paid $109 for this. Yes, I know that's like $30 over retail, but this is the 2018 release. I don't think they even did one in 2019. They may have. I may be wrong. Last one in the gift shop. I picked it up because I was thinking about it. Let me go ahead and pour this. Let me let it open up a little bit. There we go. Oh, wow. That's really dark. It's a lot darker than the regular rye. So the story about this, I think I told it on my last stream, but I went to Michter's. I had a 10:30 a.m. tour at Peerless, and then Michter's is right beside the Peerless distillery, the Michter's Fort Nelson one. So had a 10:30 tour at Peerless. Fantastic, favorite tour of the trip. I said this last time. If you want to hear my Kentucky recap, check out my last live stream. I reviewed all of my like distillery experiences and the It's Bourbon Night meetup. Check that out. It was a ton of fun. But I went to Michter's. Yeah, only $20 exactly. That it's just fantastic for the price. I went to Michter's. We got there a little bit early before our tour. I saw the Michter's 10s on the shelf, the Michter's 20s, 25. Of course, they were extremely expensive, like way out of my price range. None of the Toasted Barrel. They may have had one toasted sour mash, but I already had one, and they were selling it for like $80 or something like that, maybe a little more. I passed on that because I already have one and I like it. But then I was looking at the regular table. It had all the regular ryes. It was like 8 bottles. So it was like 7 of the regular rye and then 1 of these hidden in the back of the group. I'm pretty sure that was intentional. I saw it. I grabbed it. I wasn't sure of the price. I wasn't sure of if I actually wanted it, but I knew that would get gone. And I am so glad I did, because I picked it up and I heard two different people. So I had one guy, like when I was like holding it, I was like debating with my husband. I was like, oh, do I want to pay $109 for this? I saw one guy like staring me down. I set it down on the table because I only have one arm, so like I can't look things up on my phone and hold this. So I set it on the table right in front of me, but I had my phone right here. So I'm like messaging the group saying like, hey, should I buy this? Should I buy this? So one guy was staring at me when I did that. Then another guy, while I was holding it, I heard him talking to someone else, and he was like, no, that's just the regular rye. They don't have it here. So I was like, so I was debating it, and the guy that was actually our tour guide for the night saw me debating it, and I was like, yeah, I told him, I was like, I love the sour mash, but like, that's a little pricey. He's like, a lot of people are looking for it. And I'm like, damn it. So I bought it. Honestly, I can't anticipate being disappointed in this. 109 is one of the most expensive whiskeys I've ever bought. The only other thing I've bought at that price point was Confiscated for 100. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of Confiscated. I was let down a lot by that. I bought Michter's 10-year rye for 130. I haven't opened it yet. My store just got like tons of them in stock for 130. I'm like, I'm gonna grab them. We'll see if I want it later on, but I'm gonna grab it. So I still have that in my cabinet. But I just knew that I love the barrel strength rye, and I paid $80 for that. So $20 more for some finishing on that. You can't complain about that. So all that being said, I'm excited to try it tonight with you guys. Never drank this before, never tried it, but I've always wanted to. So Brendan says the 9-year smells sweeter. Doesn't have that huge oak bomb that the 14-year-old does. Okay, I love the oak bomb, but like I like the sweetness. Knob Creek, I mean, you guys know Jim Beam used to be my second favorite distillery after Heaven Hill. No, Jim Beam's my favorite after Doing Things Blind. I just love the things that Jim Beam does with their premium small batch line. Lil is laughing at me, probably because I'm gushing over this rye. But I'm so excited to try it. You got to sample it, Steven. You tried the Toasted Barrel Rye? Oh, that's so awesome! I'm so excited. I've blabbered too much. Let me go back to the regular barrel strength rye. Delicious, absolutely delicious. It's almost. Oh yeah, I was talking to Lil. She was laughing. Yeah. So the only thing I would complain about with the barrel strength rye, it does taste a little young. That's one thing about Michter's is they don't put age statements, and they do source. So it could be a young rye, but that barrel strength really does a lot for that. Yes, Leanne is Lil. I learned that because I was super confused when I first started out, and I was like, wait, Leanne, Lil? I didn't realize until they said something about Australia. I'm like, oh, yes. I may be wrong. Sorry, Leanne, if you're not Lil, I'm sorry. But Lil said she could join, and I'm pretty sure you two are the same person, so I'll let them know. Yeah, that barrel strength rye is really good. But now, wait, let's solve this debate before I move on to this one. Okay, I thought so. I was pretty sure about that. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to be wrong, but like, no, I've had this debate before because I'm like, what do I call you? But in the chat, everyone calls you Lil, so I'm like, I say Lil. So whatever you prefer, though. So now that mystery is solved, I'm so excited to try this. Should I nose it? This is expensive. I'm one of those thrifty guys that like gets nervous about spending a lot of money on whiskey, so I really hope this is worth it. Let me smell it. It smells pretty nice. It smells really high proof. It almost smells like the sour mash. It's very similar to the sour mash on the nose, actually. The 9-year doesn't drink. I'm sure you're finishing that. Okay, it's hot. Okay, but you think it's good, though. I mean, if you think it's good, I may be in for another bottle of it. I need to open mine, though. How about this? I'll open my bottle before I tell you to buy me another one. We'll do that, but Okay, same person. Good to know. On the nose, honestly, I think the sour mash like jumped out of the glass more than anything on the nose. This may open up a little bit. On the nose, it's a little subtle, similar to the bourbon, but the barrel strength rye by itself, way more interesting on the nose. So I think it may just have to open up a bit, but let's go ahead and give it a taste, shall we? What is the proof on this one? Let me double check. 108.2 proof. That's true, Brandon. So I am used to Knob Creek picks being $50, like the store picks. I walked into a store and I saw. I went to. You guys are just realizing. You guys are like reconnecting. Oh, how sweet! But you guys all know each other, so it's funny. I walked into a liquor store when I was going to my last meetup called High Times Wine Cellars, and they had their store pick Knob Creek for $36, and I was like, "Is this a pricing mistake? Like, is this supposed to be this cheap?" And they're like, "No, that's what they sell it for." I'm like, "Oh my god, who? Why has no one told me about this before?" It is only a 9-year pick. It's not their like 14-year-old pick, but it's a 9-year pick for $36. Hell yeah! Like I haven't tried it yet, but I'm sure it's a hell yeah. So don't give away our secret. Okay. This does smell good though. I'm gonna go ahead and try it. I keep delaying because I want to enjoy it so much. Let's go ahead and try it. Ooh. Sorry for going silent, but I wish they went barrel strength with the bourbon and the rye with their toasted. Wow, that is a world of difference. That is. Those campfire notes are so there, but they're also like. It's like not only are you getting the campfire notes, you're getting the char. Like, this sounds really lame, but it's like when an ash flies from a campfire and lands on your shoulder and then you smell it later in the night. Okay, that's being lame. Okay, sorry. Skip that. It's campfire, but it's like the best expression of campfire that I've ever had in a whiskey. That, now, do I say, let me go back. I have the regular barrel strength right here. It's so different, but it's so similar. Let me go back to this one. Interesting. So I'm a little speechless because honestly, I think these are equally as good, and they're better. They're good for different reasons. The regular barrel strength rye is very oaky and leathery, and this tastes a lot. Honestly, this tastes older than what they're releasing for this. So I have a good feeling the barrels they're using for their toasted barrel rye are the younger barrels that they're probably using for their regular rye. They're just bottling them at cask strength, and then they're toasting them. So I think this one tastes a little younger, honestly. But they're doing something really special with that finish that makes up for it and then some. Yeah, this smells like... Wow, that's so interesting. That's so... It's... I almost want to like look up... Hold on, right? Michter's Toasted Rye. 1 second, bear with me. I'm just curious what... If this one note is what I'm getting is what other people have gotten. So other reviews say it's like pastry forward, smoked and booze, dynamic, marzipan to the front. I don't really get that. Soaked cherries, red and white candy cane, nutmeg. Okay, these reviewers, I wish I was that talented, but I'm not. I don't get all of that. Yeah, I mean, this reviewer gave it 4.5 out of 5. That's very. You're saying what I said was poetic. Wait till you hear what's about to come up about being poetic. That's a little bit ridiculous, but that is. Let me try it again. We'll go back to you guys. Screw other reviews. Honestly, it's all subjective. I was just curious if I could get. I'm getting a weird note on this. I'm trying to place it. So this is where it's helpful to have someone else. So Brandon, I know you're not a rye guy, but yeah, I know you're not a rye guy, Brandon, but you got to help me figure out this one because it's something interesting. It doesn't have the rye sharpness that I get on the regular barrel strength rye. Honestly, if you're someone that doesn't like rye, Brandon, try this one. It doesn't taste like a rye. It tastes like a really good whiskey. It honestly, if you told me this was a toasted barrel American, not American Spirit, American whiskey. So like, you know how they have like American whiskey and they have their bourbon. If you told me this was a toasted American whiskey, I'd believe you completely. So we're gonna let you try this one. 2 weeks, cool. Steven says, I just want to try some old 8-year 101 or some cheesy gold foil is my dream. Same here, man. I tried a sample of Brandon's 101, or no, it wasn't the 101, was it? It was the 80 proof wild turkey. But I did try some old turkey. It was good. Steven, I was so tempted. $42 for your 2-ounce pour. Not sure if that's good or not. 2 ounces of what? The 18-year? Elijah Craig. Wait, what is the 18-year? I'm curious. Oh yeah, you guys are talking about Elijah Craig 18-year. It was 101. Okay, I didn't realize. I haven't tried that one. I am very, very curious to try that one. Honestly, 43 is a little high, but I would be tempted. I would ask if they can do a half pour, a 1 ounce for 21.5. That would be my hope, but yeah, 29 for 1.5 ounces. That's good. Honestly, I really want to try more Dusty Turkey. So what I was gonna say, Steven, is at the It's Bourbon Night meetup at Bottled and Bond Kitchen. They brought out a Dusty Turkey from 1987, I think it was. It was old turkey. And they brought out a bottle, and you had to pay for it, of course. But they had it on the table right there in front of us to try. And I'm pretty sure it was like, honestly, I'm thinking like $40 to $50 to try it. And I was like, I've already paid a lot of money in whiskey on this trip. I just bought 2 vintage pours of something else. I couldn't justify that. So I passed on it, but everyone that tried it said it was fantastic. So, Steven, I highly encourage, if you're ever in the opportunity to try one for a decent price, go for it because I know people love that Dusty Turkey. Honestly, I'm looking for, unfortunately, I was hoping to try Perry's 1993 bottle of Wild Turkey because that's my birth year and that's his birth year. We didn't have enough time to try that, but I would love to try a birth year Wild Turkey. Yeah, I've heard it's pretty incredible stuff, but yeah, I'm just really stuck on how good this is. I'm so glad. Honestly, I've never spent over $100 on a bottle that I've been more satisfied in than this. So I'll say that. Then again, I've only bought 2 bottles that were $100+, but 2 other ones other than this one. But if you're near Louisville and you want to stop in their gift shop and this is on the shelf, hands down, absolutely try it out. 93, you guys are kids. I know. I was surprised Perry and I have the same birth year, honestly. Yeah, that's just absolutely fantastic. And I'm so sad that I won't get another bottle of it. Oh, speak of the devil or of the swan. Yes. So we're talking about birth year wild turkey. Yeah, so that You came in right as I'm finishing up. I just tried all three of the Michter's Toasted Barrel releases, the bourbon, the sour mash, and I finished it off with the rye that I picked up in Kentucky. You're good. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying I was about to wrap up, but like I'll give my overall impressions of all of them in case you don't want to watch the replay. The bourbon, which was the first one I tried, it's higher proof than the sour mash, but I don't think it has the complexity of the sour mash. I think the sour mash jumps out of the glass. It's in your face. That campfire marshmallow goodness. We talked about this before on my last stream of the sour mash. I've reviewed it before. Sour mash beats the bourbon. Clifton, do you want to film a review of a bottle I have? Potentially, yeah. Let me know. I can take like a sample bottle of it and I'll review it for sure. If it's something, whatever it is. So, sour mash beats the bourbon, personally, my opinion. So then I went to my Toasted Barrel Rye. But before I tried that, I had to make sure to try the Barrel Strength Rye because they're both barrel strength. Barrel Strength Rye is fantastic. It's super oaky, super leathery, tobacco-y. Just delicious. I still have some of it here. Delicious, delicious, delicious. Probably one of my favorite ryes that aren't like high rye. Almost choked. So, I hoped that this stood up to what I love about that one. I paid $109 for this one, which, as you know, is a little over MSRP, but it was at the gift shop. And just reading off. Oh, we can do an uncorking. Brandon, yes. Be in a video. Film a video with me. Let's do it. Yeah, so the Toasted Barrel Rye. Honestly, my parting thoughts from the Toasted Barrel Rye, which this is the 2018 release of it, I really wish they would release a cast barrel strength version of the sour mash toasted barrel and the bourbon toasted barrel, because bottling this at cast strength and toasting that barrel for the additional finishing does something really, really magical. Now, I think it's just as good as the regular barrel strength rye. Honestly, I would say they're comparable. The barrel strength rye is a little more deep, darker. I feel like it's a little older. The Toasted Barrel Rye, I feel like it's a little younger, but that finish they do on it, fantastic. If you love that toasted flavor. If you've had any of these, if you've had the toasted sour mash or the toasted bourbon, and you like that toasted flavor, see this on the shelf for not unnecessary secondary prices, grab a bottle. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm just catching up for the chat. Hold on. Buffalo Trace picks are delicious for the price. Absolutely. Steven, the only bottle of Buffalo Trace I've ever bought was a store pick, and it was $20, and it was incredible. So, totally there with you on that one. Whatever Clifton wants. Ha ha ha. Got too many barrel proofs. I love barrel proofs. Yeah, well, Brandon, hit me up later. We'll figure something out. I would love to do a review with you. How does it compare to the Heaven Hill 6-year bottle and bond? Wait, how does what compare? The Toasted Barrel Rye? It's different. I mean, I wouldn't even put those in the same ballpark. Honestly, the Barrel Strength Rye is much more similar to the Heaven Hill 6-year bottle and bond. That was so rich in flavor. I'm going to review that, by the way. Swan, I'm going to review the Heaven Hill bottle and bond once I get my hands on the new bottle and bond, which was supposed to hit California. I have not seen it in California anywhere. It's not even listed on stores as like coming soon. So I don't know what's up with that. They said California was one of the first people to get that one. Haven't seen it. So I'm holding on to your bottle, which actually, Brandon, half of the bottle is yours. That was the deal. So, you're still waiting too, Steven. Interesting. Yeah, Brandon, when you're here, we'll open it up. I'll give you half of the bottle. because that we're splitting that one. Honestly, because Swan is so generous and gave it to us at retail, and I can't thank him enough. So yeah, we're splitting that bottle. So look forward to that when you're here. But yeah, the new one is supposed to get here, and I don't know where it is. And I've seen people have it. People are picking it up in like I think like Iowa or something. I'm like, why? We are on the first distribution list. Where is it? Honestly, I am almost curious. Steven, I'm curious if you're thinking the same thing. Do you think that people just don't know about Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond, that stores aren't ordering it? Because I almost feel like my store is just not ordering because they don't know anything about it. That's just a guess. I don't know, but I expected it to come out here first. I honestly expected it before I even went to Kentucky, but it hasn't shown up, so I have no idea. But I really want to get it. I will definitely buy at least one bottle to compare. But overall thoughts on the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond, the old one, fantastic. Thank you, Swan, for sharing it with me at your place. So good to... By the way, I don't know if I ever said this, but so good to meet you. So good to hang out with you. Wish we could have hung out more. I know we were in a rush that day to go meet with Perry, and I was stressed out about my Airbnb. So next time in Kentucky, we'll hang out more. I'll bring you some stuff. We'll have a good time. So wait, that sounds wrong. You know what I mean. So bring you a sample. Yeah. Brandon's heading to Kentucky soon too. So let him know. And Brandon, if you see anything good when you're out there, you have some space, let me know, because I may want you to bring me some stuff back too. That's true, Steven. I mean, honestly, we're at a weird time where like I regret spending money all year because there's so many good things coming out. I may have a friend getting Baker's 13 the new Baker's 13. I haven't seen it in stores around here. Swan, of course, has a beautiful bottle that he showed off. But it hasn't hit the stores here yet, but there's a guy that knows the guy that has one, so I may pick up that one. But yeah, I think stores are holding back. They're going to just like push all this stuff out, and I'm super excited. And also my poor wallet is like, no, please Clifton, don't. But you know, I got us. So Old Fitz 13-year bottle and bond. Ooh, I haven't had that one, Brandon. If you have it open, maybe bring a sample of that one. I would love to try that, honestly. If you still have it. No pressure if you don't, but run out of space. I can totally relate. I have 5 bottles on my floor currently. I'm trying to drink down. I just finished the Russells before I started this stream, so now I have 4 bottles on the floor. New Riff just makes it so difficult because their bottles are so... They're like this, but they're like 3 inches taller, and they don't fit on my shelves, so... All right, Lil, thank you for stopping by on your lunch break. I seriously really appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with us. If you get a chance to try your bottle of Michter's after work, because it's Friday and you gotta celebrate the weekend, let me know what you think. Love to hear your thoughts. So, am I down for the Old Fitz? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd love to bring that. I would love to try. I've never tried any of their products, so. Yeah. So, yeah, what do you guys think? I mean, are you guys excited for these toasted barrels? Have you seen them? Have you seen them secondary? Have you considered buying them secondary? I just want like some like closing thoughts on which one you're looking for out of these 3. I mean, I honestly wouldn't have expected the sour mash to be so good, especially at so low proof. It's just absolutely delicious. The rye, though, hands down favorite. I would pay $109 again for another bottle. I'll just say that. So, if you guys are in Kentucky and you're at the Louisville gift shop, if you see this, hit me up. Just kidding. I like to finish a bottle before I buy up another one, or get close to finishing it, so. So good. That's the thing, Donnie, and Diana, whoever's chatting. It needs that high proof. That's why, like, that's what made me pull the trigger. Honestly, I'll tell you this. In the gift shop, if I had saw this, the Toasted Barrel Rye, and it was just regular strength, not barrel proof, let's say it was like 90 proof, I probably would have passed. But, seeing it at barrel proof, toasted barrel, I had to pick it up. And Gotcha. Got it. Um, yeah, so honestly, that extra proof just does in for the value. It just amps it up a bit. It amps it up flavor wise, amps it up proof wise, obviously, and price wise. But like, it's totally worth it. So definitely the winner. But I recommend any of these. I would definitely, if you saw both the bourbon and the sour mash, definitely pick the sour mash over the bourbon. Yeah, the toasted sour mash. That's what's weird. It's showing up in weird places. The toasted sour mash, like I found it in some random liquor store, like a wine shop. It's at Gelson's, which is it's like a Whole Foods, but like a smaller scale Whole Foods, like a local kind of thing. Just sitting on the shelf there. So check your like obscure stores that sell whiskey, because you may be surprised what they have. 108 proof. Are you talking about the rye? The rye, yeah, it's 108.2 proof. So the sour mash is only 86 proof. So yeah, I mean honestly, anything over 100 proof, I'm willing to give it a shot, because I feel like if it's 100 proof, they know what they're doing. Anything like 80 proof, I'm like, 86 is like, they may care a little bit more, but it's also like, I don't know. I'm not dissing lower proof stuff. I'm just feeling like if you have a lower proof offering, like Michter's does, their low proof, 80 proof, regular products, you should release it at cask strength, like they do their rye. Because if you release something at cask strength, it is a whole nother world of flavor. And people like me who are like high proof nerds, we will buy it. So just a tip for distillers, if you're watching this video, release some cask strength stuff. It'll pay off. I think so. Exactly. So with that, I think I'm going to wrap up. We are good on timing. We almost made it exactly to an hour, which I love. I love to limit these, because if I go longer, I'm going to get wasted. Yes. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me tonight. I am excited about all these products. I think what they're doing with their toasted barrel releases is incredible. It's unique, and honestly, it's like really special, and it's like a nice little extra benefit they're providing for their fans. So I'm all aboard about that. Thank you guys. Thank you, Brandon, for the comment about being a nice stream. I always hope to entertain you guys. Like I said, I just have a lot of fun doing these. So until next time, like I said, I have a review of Little Book 3. So I'm either posting that tomorrow or a little bit later, so don't hold me to it, but I definitely filmed a review of that one. So YouTube's bad about reminding you I'm going live. So about that, I don't post my live streams until like the day of, so I may need to start posting them in advance, because I literally made the thumbnail at work today, not gonna lie. So I'll start posting them earlier, Donnie, because I do want people. I want to keep people in the know about going live. So I'm always the same time though. If I'm not going to go live on a certain week, I'll let you guys know in advance. But it's always 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. So yeah, look forward to the next one. I already have plans for the next 3 live streams. So stick around, because I got some cool stuff coming up. With that, I'm here to help you drink good whiskey. And out of tonight, the Barrel Strength Rye and the Toasted Barrel Rye are fantastic whiskey. Buy it now. Until then, have a great weekend. Happy Friday tomorrow, or if you're Lil, happy Friday today. Yeah, so all right, you guys, have a wonderful night, and I already said my outro. So cheers. Bye, you guys.